Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I decided to make another video on Pluto today because I just think it's a very long topic. So I'm gonna be adding some more points in addition to the other video I uploaded on Pluto. So something else about Pluto. In astrology, people often talk about positive aspects and negative aspects. I kind of disagree with that because from what I've seen, aspects, whether it's a trine or a square or an opposition or a sexta, they still show both positive and negative influences. It's just how it comes out maybe a bit differently. Like squares generally tend to come out as more frictiony, in a more friction kind of way. Trines seem to be more flowing and all that, and just an easy energy. However, trines can sometimes also cause the weirdest personality traits, okay? Like just having a Pluto trine, it means Pluto rules a lot of things. It rules darkness, it rules transformation, it rules healing, it rules death and rebirth. It rules so many things. So just because you've got a trine to a planet doesn't mean everything is roses and cream. You can have a Venus trine Pluto and still struggle with self-esteem. As you know, Venus rules self-esteem and self-worth, validation, how we want to be loved, how we love others, what makes us feel appreciated, the kinds of things we love to do. Having Pluto in aspect to Venus can still make you feel like it makes you feel like you're not loved sometimes. Okay, this is before you process it. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Having a trine isn't perfect. With Venus trine Pluto, you might still feel like there's a hole in your heart. You might still feel like you need to control things for someone to love you back. Or you might feel inherently like you've got some shame going on, or something about how you give and receive love. There's something that is not always perfect there until you really worked on all these things in your chart, till you've really worked on your Pluto and all those buried things, buried feelings, buried occurrences where you felt rejected, where you felt guilty or you felt ashamed for who you are, especially because Venus trine, not Venus just trine, but Venus Pluto aspects, they can be these children who had a lot of magnetism since they were kids, and sometimes that causes jealousy in others. Even if you're children, some people are very twisted. Some people are jealous of kids, so you may find that there's something that you are wounded in regard to your attraction mechanism, and so you may feel like you shouldn't be too much yourself, or you shouldn't attract too much attention, because if you do, you're selfish, or there could just be a number of problems with that if it hasn't been processed. We know in our society, beauty or attraction, because some people argue it's not the same thing. You can be attractive, but you don't fit the beauty standards of society. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we also have societal standards which are problematic, very problematic indeed. Some people don't fit those societal standards, but people are still drawn to them, people are still attracted to them. So this could be the case of some people who are very attractive, very beautiful, but they've always felt like there's something wrong with that. Like they always feel like it brings them more harm than good. Either they feel like people don't see them more deep than their beauty, than their attractiveness. People only see them on a surface level. People want them, but they don't want to get to know them deeply. They may feel rejected because of that. Yes, everyone that loves them and loves their beauty is attracted to them, but they don't feel like they are known. They don't feel like anyone wants to know them. This surface level attraction can cause them to feel rejected. So these Venus Pluto aspects could have to deal with a lot of feelings of rejection in that manner, or they may feel like the way they express love, with Plutonian aspects, especially with even Venus Pluto aspects, They might express love so intensely that some people are scared. It's not that there's anything wrong with the intent. Okay, sometimes it could be wrong. Venus, Pluto could show up in cases where, in stalkers, in people who become obsessed with you, and they, it's very strange, the obsession that can happen. Like, you could find someone who's obsessed with you, they really like you, and they want to do all these things. It seems like, whoa, what is this? Is this love bombing? Is this a manipulation trick? And those are some of the things this person with Venus Pluto may face. So then I wonder, why is it they express so much love, but some people just tend to want to create a distance? Like, they may wonder what's wrong with them. Like, why can they see my big heart? Why can't they see that I love them? Why can't they see I really like them? And it could simply be a case where the other person is not used to very intense feelings. You know, there are people who don't have very many water planets in their chart. That is like Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, or people who don't have strong Pluto placements, or people who don't have a lot of fire. They may not really understand the intensity and why you're so intense, and they may be intimidated by that. Or it could simply be a case where you never learned good boundaries, so you don't know how much affection is too much to show in the beginning. So the other person might feel like they are being vampirized, like they're being sucked, because it's too much too soon. Not that it's not genuine, it might just be a lot to take in in the beginning. So yeah, so with that, you must also learn what are the boundaries and what to expect from people, because this aspect could cause controlling behaviors, and yes, even the trying, because you feel like there's a certain way people should behave for you. There's a certain way they should behave towards you so that they can prove they love you. You know, you might be controlling in that regard without noticing. Why aren't they doing things in this certain kind of manner? You know, why? And you might translate that to not being loved, which might also cause other feelings of shame as well. So it involves a lot about understanding other people too, and knowing that not everyone loves in the fashion that you do, number one. And just because they don't show the same intensity doesn't mean that they don't love you. And also that maybe they just need more time to adjust to the situation. Because often, you know, when people are shown a lot of love, this depends on the audience, of course, but sometimes when some people are shown a lot of love just like that, they're like, is there something, is this some kind of a trick? With good reason, because there are people who employ love bombing to entrap people emotionally. So this suspicion is not unfounded, so you have to be aware of that, of coming on too strong. It doesn't, I don't know how to put it, because you might simply be lucky enough to find someone who is similar to you, and you guys are just that expressive in the beginning, and it just flows, and you end up married for 70 years. So I mean, maybe it's about luck as well. But again, it could be true that you are simply very expressive, and also it could be true that you are that intense because you feel lonely. So you need to know the difference. Is that truly just how you are, very lovingly expressive and intense, or do you do it too soon and too quickly because you are trying to escape loneliness, or because you're codependent? That requires a lot of introspection. With Pluto, you need to go into the underworld and really find out what is going on in there, what is causing this, these propensities, okay? I keep saying this. We always need to go into our underworld, into the deep aspects of our natures. Some people like to avoid the underground digging. They like to avoid going deep within themselves. They like to avoid the internal work because they are too scared of what they'll find there. They don't know if they'll like it. They don't know if they'll like themselves. They don't know if they'll find emotions which are against, like they will find they still are not happy about how someone treated them at a certain point in time, or the emotions about other people that they buried, and they're just not ready to work through all of that intensity. So they just keep burying it, and burying it until it comes out in other self-destructive ways, maybe self-sabotage or whatever not. So there's that. Then there are people who are constantly digging and constantly digging and constantly digging to find something else and another thing and another thing and another thing. Some people are obsessed with self-help. Although also self-help is tied to the 6th house, but some people are always digging. The thing with Pluto, there's an obsessive nature to Pluto. So people with Plutonian aspects, they like to dig. It can create an amazing researcher, even an amazing doctor, data analyst, like professions that involve a lot of digging, detective work, even an amazing writer, because writing also involves really understanding, people's natures. But again, it just could cause a lot of obsessive digging, and an obsession with the darkness, with the depths inside, with whatever is buried. So it could be people who are always looking for what is beneath the surface again, what is behind that. There has to be something behind it. There has to be some deeper meaning. There has to be a deeper level. It's good and bad in that when the interest is piqued, they will get obsessive about it. So if it's an interest in something harmful, now that will be to their own detriment. They can be, for instance, obsessed with their shame, obsessed with their guilt, obsessed with the hurt, obsessed with regrets, obsessed with anger towards others, obsessed with revenge. Like whatever grabs their attention, they may obsessively cling to it. Remember, Pluto has a fixed nature to it. It rules Scorpio. They may fixate on something for so long. It could be amazing if this is a good thing. Like, for instance, humanitarian work, for instance, climbing the career ladder, which can also be harmful if it's obsessive. So it's, it could be horrible when this person gets obsessive about their regrets and what they did in the past, and they can't forgive themselves. They get obsessed with how others wronged them, and they can't forgive them. They get obsessed with revenge, with shame, such that when they get obsessed with shame, they just feel there's something wrong with them. Especially this obsession with shame can come from people who were constantly berated when they were growing up, who were not shown enough love, and who, this is like, could be the scapegoat, who everything that went wrong, they were to blame. They were to blame for every flipping thing that other people were not willing to own up to. See, this is an environment where, as I mentioned before, I talked about people who don't own up to their darkness. People who, this I mentioned in the other video, which I'll link. People who don't own the negative side of themselves. They never own let's say, sometimes they make mistakes. This is in the case of the narcissists. They do this. They don't own up. They don't believe that there's anything bad with them. If anything goes wrong, they don't want to see that they made a mistake. No, another person has to have made the mistake, not me. Another person is the one who has caused this chaos, not me. So, and then this is where you see these aspects are generational, because an environment that works like this, it means it has Plutonian people. It has, whether it's family or the people who they grew up around, have a lot of Pluto aspects. But then these were Pluto aspects that were not well processed. So this was in a case where other people projected their buried hurt, angers, feelings of inadequacy onto them, such that they absorbed all these projections, and they started thinking they're bad, they're wrong, they're defective, there's something wrong with them, they always do wrong, they can't do anything right. everything they do goes wrong. This is a very poor self-image to have, which is a result of other people's projections. And when they are so much in that identity, they just feel cursed, because whatever they touch doesn't turn to gold. That just seems like what they do always go bad. They can't be good. They're good for nothing. Or rather, they can't be a good friend. They can't be a good partner, because they internalize this from other people. So people who are in a scapegoat role in relationship, in their family when they're growing up, or in their environment, if they're the kids who are always bullied, or whoever was a person who others projected their shame onto. This also happens to people who do sex work. The society always projects a lot of shame on them. Of course, that's a moral thing. People could argue, is it what they do, is it morally okay or not, and people will differ. But the thing is, often the shame is rarely placed on their clients as much as it's placed on them. If people are placing shame, they should place it equally, but it's more often placed on them than the other people who are also doing that, who are also making their work profitable. So if you be in an environment where you absorbed a lot of shame, the shame of others, you need to really that's about putting yourself in a new environment, firstly, of loving people. And again, I said this takes experimentation, because when your boundaries have been violated so badly, you are used to accepting the bare minimum, meaning the bare niceties become, you think there's basic nice things people can do for you, become something so amazing to you. So it can be easy to be around people who don't even do much for you and harm you more than anything, but you think they're so amazing because they show you more affection than you were ever shown, even if it's the bare minimum. So that self-love thing can be difficult for some Plutonian people, and getting rid of the shame. This is something that would require lots of therapy, reading a lot about this self-help. In this case, self-help would be very important, because you'd have to start identifying more with love than with shame, and that takes a lot of processing. You need someone to guide you through that. Some people are able to release this through religion. Some religions, like Christianity, I haven't read deeply into the others as much. Some religions like Christianity, which emphasize the unconditional love of God. Some people are able to heal through religion and spirituality, because with the unconditional love, if they're able to believe that, because some people are skeptical about religion. Not everyone values having a religion, but then there are people who have found healing through religion. In the case where, if they're taught about unconditional love and the fact that they have a heavenly Father and they are actually loved, which is a fundamental principle of Christianity. Also, other religions, even if I don't know the exact principles, but they do speak about having God take care of some of that pain that you went through. Even in Hinduism, they'll speak about protection from God. Some people find this in spirituality. They find this in, or even manifestation. Some people are able to manifest and somehow start seeing themselves in a different way. This is manifesting through the idea of self-concept. So that's also an entirely different kind of topic. But this is a very big topic. I love talking about Pluto. I just find it to be a very interesting symbol in our lives, in regard to transformation, in regard to the pain and hurt people go through, in regard to how people rise from the ashes. I find it so awesome. So guys, I hope you got a lot of insight from this video, and I will make other videos on other astrological topics. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll see you again. Bye.